Hi class, welcome to week 6. So this week we are going to start the planning phases of our event, the Horticopia event. Assignments for this week. So there are several articles that you guys need to read through. There's 8 of them, so you need to read through those. Those are going to be a continuation kind of Get That Job and what you learned this last week at attending that event. In addition to that, it's helping you prepare for your resume, your personal branding product that you're creating for the end of the term, your mock interviews, and your phone interviews that you're going to be participating in. So you need to read through all of those. First assignment is to register with the You Get Connected portal. You Get Connected is a tool that we use here on campus in order to track hours that students participate in volunteer experience or service learning projects. So this is the way that you guys are going to track your hours related to our Horticopia event that you guys will be participating in. In addition to your service learning hours that you guys participate in, one of your other competencies that you need to meet this term is to put in 8 hours of community service. So you have your service learning as well as 8 hours of community service. There's many different volunteer opportunities in the Cooley region that you can participate in. If none of those meet your needs when you're on the You Get Connected site, and send me an email and we can see what would meet your needs. It is the same login information as your Blackboard or any of your other campus tool. So you'll just log into that. There'll be like 5 steps you have to go through to register, and then you'll have this professional profile online if you follow that link that you guys will need to get added in. This is our exclusive portal where you'll respond to needs specifically for our event and track those hours. But if you're looking to get your 8 hours in and you want to start working on those now, click on this needs buttons over here. It'll highlight a variety of different needs that are available, so you can go through and read these for different volunteer experiences. Suits for Success is an event that one of my other classes is coordinating and developing, so they have some needs that you could respond to on there. So Greenhouse General Activities related to the Hillview Urban Agricultural Center. There's a whole slew of them. There's like 100 to 600 needs at any given time that are out here. You can search through these by alphabetical listing. You could filter them by agency, location, county, distance from where you live, all of those sort of things. If you guys live outside the area, other agencies, but you'll add those hours in here. So if you click on, let's say you want to do bingo, respond to the need, you have to click on the button. So respond to a need, you will answer these questions, and then submit needs response. Once you click on this button, then you get a confirmation. It sends it out to the organization. So that's kind of a brief overview of You Get Connected. I'll actually have a longer video later, but if you guys want to start exploring that and at least get registered at this point. Other assignments. So participate in the discussion board titled Personal Branding. Same discussion board as before. Same guidelines as those. There are team contracts that are due this week, as well as evaluation tools. So I put you guys into a few different teams based on your discussion board responses and kind of what you were posting before. So we have 3 different groups for the event. Planning and an overview team that you guys had come up with. Day of event planning, execution, volunteer coordinator. And these can change as we get going with this event and you guys are planning it and developing it and working out as a class together, that these roles or responsibilities need to change, we'll do that. But this is kind of what I got. And then community outreach and marketing. You guys really wanted a marketing team, but I guess I haven't really communicated with you guys some of the marketing roles for this event. Students in the graphic design program have actually created a flyer, just a generic, it's a tree with going green type stuff. Horticopia is written on there, and we just have to provide some information about when the event is, what organizations or student groups are participating, the times of the event, and a little bit of other. We just need to and then that'll get added to various different platforms. We have a list. We just literally email blast it out, and that'll get put on, it'll get added to the student newsletter. It'll get put on different things around campus to really promote the event. And then Casey Meehan, who's the sustainability coordinator, will print a bunch of those flyers and post them on campus as well. So we're not going to have to create a flyer. in aspects, but rather provide some information and then do kind of a list of different different places we can market the event to meet student needs and that sort of thing. Side's kind of taken care of, but there is a community outreach piece and maybe some social media related marketing that we can do, and we have a guy on campus named Eric that we can work with. He does all of the Facebook, Snapchat type thing. He'll put out press releases and that sort of thing for the event, but we just need to provide some basic information. So most of the marketing is done by the college department, and everything that we do as far as marketing has to be approved by them before we can even do it. So it's a little different than some events you might have participated in the past. So those are the 3 teams that we came up with. We can edit them as we go along. We need as you guys are working through this. While you're going to be on a team, you're still going to have to communicate with the entire class. As a result, I put together a Slack channel with each team having a separate link underneath there and then one large one for the class to communicate on rather than trying to do it on the discussion board. And I know several of you had thought that was a great idea to do Slack, so I just went ahead and created one for you. So that should help. The link is in this week's folder. You also got an email invite to it. But for your teams that are joined together right now, those 3 individuals on each team needs to make a team contract. What are your expectations for communication? How are you going to work together in your online atmosphere? What are you going to do if a team member is not working with you guys, not responding to communication? What are the consequences for that? What if there's conflict? How are you guys going to work through that? You guys are graduating here in a term. This is real world stuff that happens every day. How are you going to deal with that before you reach out to your boss, so to speak? So in this situation, I'm your boss. How are you guys going to line this up? What are you lining up as your expectations and clearly outlining them in your contract? You'll submit those to me, and then if I see areas that are possibly missing, I will say, hey, we need to add this type of area to your contract, and then you'll send those in. The other thing that you guys need to do in your groups, if you're in Capstone, you know that you have a business team, you're put together, and there's an evaluation tool for your teamwork. This project's a little different in the fact that how you are evaluated can't be the same for every single team. Because your tasks are slightly different, this project is different, how we go about it is very unique. So each team is going to be responsible for creating their own performance evaluation tool. So you guys are going to have to look at how you would be evaluated if this was your actual job. How should you be evaluated? How should your teammates, how should your class evaluate you? What type of scale, and so if you put a scale in there of 0 to 5, what does a 0 mean versus a 5? And you need to be putting in qualifiers and quantifiable data into each one of those areas so that we can easily say, okay, that's a 3, that's a 2 for that person, that's a 5 for this person. And those should align with your team contract. So if they're not meeting like communication expectations and they don't respond in a timely manner 2 times in a row, that deducts 1 point off their evaluation, that sort of thing. So those 2 things align. So you guys are going to submit those this week. In addition to that, you also have a couple assignments. One is to respond to the resume handbook questions. There's 5 questions. You're going to respond to those. Answer the questions that are there. You can find the answers or some resources to help you arrive at the answers in the resume handbook that the college puts together. You guys are going to be developing your resume coming up, so I'm kind of preparing you for that. So you need to answer these questions. Each question should have a paragraph response. Some of you in the class are falling a little short on your responses to questions or adequately demonstrating your knowledge or understanding. So just to be very clear with that, you need to make sure that when you're writing, and at this level, you're at your capstone level, your professional profile development level, you're graduating, you're at a very high level of expectation. In order to demonstrate that you know how to apply these skills and execute these and create such things as your resume or act in a professional manner, you need to clearly communicate in your written assignments what your point is, or it would be called your topic sentence if I was a writing instructor, and support that with examples and explanations. So when you're looking at what is your career objective, one sentence is not going to answer that. On your resume, you will have one sentence, maybe two, for your career objective, but you need to explain why that is your career objective. What are some examples of why you have that set up, and explain more in detail. Okay, when you're looking at what are quantifiers or qualifiers that will assist you in preparing your resume, you would explain in your first sentence what is a quantifier or a qualifier, and then provide some specific examples and explain why you would use those in preparing your resume in your paragraph. That will demonstrate that you truly know what you're discussing, that you understand it, and help you to gain those points. If you're not doing that in your writing and you're just writing like one short sentence in response to a question, I can't award points. So you're going to get 0 in that area. So if you want to obtain your points in this class, if you're not explaining yourself well enough, if I'm asking questions in your feedback, that's why. So you need to work on those things. Other assignments this week, you guys looked at some resumes last week, or job postings last week. You submitted 3. This week you are taking those a step further in your job searching and picking one of those 3 listings, picking the company that you would then apply for. Once you are applying and interviewing for those, it is critical in your interviewing, applying process that you research that company. So I want you to do research on whatever company you pick or whichever job posting you're going to apply for, and come up with a list of 10 unique novice pieces related to that company that shows that you took the time to explore that company, understand what they are about, and ask the questions. In your job interviews, you need to demonstrate that you know what that firm is about or that industry, and ask questions. That's going to be the difference potentially between you getting the job or not getting the job. Quite often, if you go into an interview, say you're interviewing at Menards and you have done no research, you don't ask any questions about the company, you're going to get passed over because it shows you didn't take the time to care or look into that company to truly understand those. So you're practicing those skills this semester, so you have those as you go into the job force. I know some of you are happy with where you are right now. I can tell you I've loved different places I worked before I even went to thinking about teaching. But there might come a time in your future that you're not going to be happy with the company. Maybe they go down a different road, or maybe you need to explore different career options. These skills are going to help you look at those areas. If you're running your own business and you're completely content and happy and you're going to keep doing that for 10, 15 years, that's great. However, this will also help you to understand your employees or those that you hire going forward. So these are some good skills to develop. So that's an overview of this week's assignments and what's going on for this week. There will be one more video that I'll just go over the Hortocopia event, go into a little bit more detail, and talk about some areas that you guys are going to want to explore this week as you're setting up those team contracts, because next week you'll really dive in and develop a plan on what we're going to propose for doing for this event to Casey Meehan. So at the end of week 7, you're going to have plans in place, but I'm going to give you some previews on